Attention Institute personnel. By the time you watch this episode, the first 2 videos in the Stellaris Invicta series will have launched on the YouTube channels City Walk, City Wall, and Skibbeth. Follow the journey of Sagalo as it is transformed from a decrepit colony ship into the capital of the Antares Confederacy. You'll find the links in the description and at the end of the video.
The final collective act of the Earhart Flotilla was unanimous. Lost in an unknown section of the galaxy, with no way to return to Earth, the star system they had discovered would be named Antares. It was a sentimental gesture meant to honor their original destination, close forever any hope of rescue, but also to inspire every settler to make this new, alien land their home. But the Antares system in which they had arrived could not be more different than the one they had expected. Even hundreds of years later, great depths still lay unexplored, and the Antares planetary system remains a strange, marvelous, terrible alien wilderness in which a confederacy of nations must now survive. That the Earhart Flotilla had arrived in an unintended system was immediately obvious. While their expected destination had been a binary system some 550 light-years away, they had emerged on the outer edge of a trinary system, with no recognizable constellations giving any clue to how far from Earth they must now be. And while the original Antares had featured only a single habitable planet in an otherwise sparse and barren system, the one they now found themselves with was a labyrinth of planets, moons, and asteroids, all held within a miasma of stellar gases and dust clouds. Between the system's 3 stars, Abeni, Nakato, and Degen, there orbit 21 planets, over 700 moons, and well over 1 million minor planets, comets, or other forms of natural satellites. The majority of these latter objects are located within the Diego asteroid belt, which lies on the outer periphery of Abeni's planetary system. But the most striking feature of the trinary system is the Antares miasma, a large cloud of dust, hydrogen, helium, and other ionized gases. As of yet, unidentified elements within this stellar cloud and the presence of the star system's 3 suns means that the miasma is visible to the naked eye and produces a spectacular kaleidoscope of color. Both the presence of the Antares miasma and the unique, seemingly unnatural orbits exhibited by many of the system's planets and moons points to some unknown natural catastrophe that likely occurred in the ancient past. The exact nature of this event remains contentious within academic circles, but most scientists familiar with the topic believe the Antares system was likely formed during some cataclysmic event. Some theories posit that the system was further affected by a series of subsequent interstellar phenomena potentially related to one another. While Antares' unique composition has taken root in the popular imagination and entertainment as evidence of hyper-advanced alien machinations, interdimensional influences, or the work of the divine, it is simply the byproduct of a lack of knowledge. Even 200 years after arriving within the system, only a tiny fraction of its many worlds have been properly explored and surveyed. It is likely that many mysteries will endure across the ensuing centuries and millennia. What little exploration has been done across Antares has mainly been limited to the 7 or perhaps 8 worlds selected for colonization. First among them is Calgary, the sole inhabited planet within the Nakato stellar subsystem. Outwardly similar to Earth, Calgary is a diverse world of vast seas and great continents. Its major differences include a higher percentage of surface-level water cover and a slightly warmer temperature. As a result, the planet is often engulfed in great tropical storms which can stretch across a large fraction of the planet. In spite of this, Calgary proved to be among the most amenable planets to large-scale human settlement. Crops required very little genetic modification to take root, while enormous stores of mineral wealth are scattered across its surface, requiring only the most rudimentary of mining efforts. Today, it is the site of both the Republic of Retiva and the Federation of Jut Farid, the Antares system's 2 largest and most powerful nations. The second most populated world within Antares is High, in orbit of Abeni. High is nearly completely covered by oceans. Like Calgary, High is subjected to fierce storms which have at times engulfed nearly the entire planet. Mineral wealth and natural resources, however, are comparatively scarce, and largely restricted to the planet's sole continent. Two nations formed on high, the Federation of Rumdara and the Republic of Chengatai. The former is spread across more than 45,000 individual islands, while the latter has come to encompass the entirety of the planet's only continent. The dramatic difference in geography between the two has caused issues that linger to this day. Also orbiting Abeni is the great gas giant Bao. Among its dozens of moons is the world of Lindue, the site of 3 major colonization efforts after the Earhart Flotilla first arrived. Lindue was considered a fitting choice for human settlement, only for severe environmental issues to arise once it was too late to relocate. While certain sections of the planet had rich soil capable of sustaining enormous fields of crops without much effort, others strangled anything planted there, which required tremendous effort to overcome. Additionally, a species of native insect, most prevalent along the planet's largest river, carried a previously unknown plague which killed over 30% of the settlers situated along its route. Today, Lindue is home to 3 nations: the Republic of Maltuan, the Republic of Alfjari Vet, and the Republic of Mandakir. In the Degen stellar subsystem orbits Al-Haji, a world of vast savannas, enormous rivers, and towering mountains. Al-Haji is warmer than Earth and contains no oceans, yet possesses especially rich soil and no severe issues with climate or native wildlife. The Union of Thanjanal is the only nation to emerge on Al-Haji, and has since laid claim to the entire planet. Further in orbit of Degen is the ocean world of Vin. Like Hai, it has very few landmasses, instead limited to swirling island chains scattered across its surface. Without the time to properly survey the planet before settlement was conducted, the initial colonists were nearly wiped out by what was thought to be a dormant volcano. This eruption, and others like it across the planet, have repeated themselves every few decades, posing significant risk to the planet's colonists. With this risk, however, has come potential reward. Vin holds the single greatest concentration of mineral wealth and exotic metals within the entire system, which as of yet remain inaccessible beneath the planet's great oceans. The Commonwealth of Embasora remains the only nation on the planet. Vin's single moon, Ziva, is the last major inhabited world within the Antares system. It is a world that defies easy categorization, boasting a plethora of extreme climates and vastly differing ecological zones. It is also the only planet with life forms as evolutionarily complex as those found on Earth. Much of the planet is covered in bizarre forms of jungle, which seem equally adept at surviving within humid tropical zones or frigid tundra. Of the 4 colonies established on the moon, only 2 survived. The colony that would become the Sabmadi Republic was only able to endure thanks to its disproportionate allotment of military drones, while the early settlers of the Tanali Republic were forced to barricade themselves within their colony ships before eventually finding refuge in an underground cave system. Even today, direct contact between these nations is limited to aerospace travel, as no highway or other method of ground connection has survived the moon's hostile ecosystem. While the vast majority of information related to the geography of the Antares system is confined to these worlds, 2 others have been the subject of specific interest. Ariane was among those first settled by the Earhart Flotilla, but no survivors remained when communications were finally re-established across the star system. It is a tragic bit of irony that Ariane was initially considered the prime jewel of the Antares system. It was so similar to Earth that its initial allotment of colonists were given only the barest of resources and machinery needed for terraforming. Anomalies in the planet's magnetic field were discovered too late, and despite seemingly everything needed for human life to thrive, crops refused to grow, and strange forms of cancer overwhelmed every colonist. The last world of particular note within the Antares system is Nikiska. It has become conspicuous not because of any discoveries made there or attempts at settlement, but rather due to the near-complete lack of information regarding the planet. Nikiska is said to be a colder, but not entirely inhospitable world, with towering mountain chains and great alien forests, but no images of its surface have ever been made public. Instead, the entire planet, like Ariane, has been placed within an exclusion zone, and all traffic prohibited. Officially, no attempt at establishing a colony was ever made there, but independent records from multiple republics all make mention of a settlement on Nakiska. All of these predate Reunification Day, and both the Antares Assembly and Antares Confederacy have dismissed such reports as forgeries or misinterpretations. Ghost stories, modern mythology, and conspiracy theories all purport to shed light on some kind of terrible event that occurred there, but there is little chance that such rumors are based on solid evidence. Instead, the only indication that there might be some kind of settlement on Nakiska are the occasional lights visible on its surface. These have been widely documented by privately owned telescopes and observatories, but government sources have blamed such lights on anomalies within the Antares miasma or other natural phenomena. Most citizens of the Confederacy are content to believe that the star system has been tamed and the tragedies endured by the Earhart Flotilla are not possible in the modern era. But every day, without exception, the news networks run stories of amazing new discoveries, environmental disasters, or quiet mysteries usually centered around missing people. For while the worlds of Antares now boast gleaming skyscrapers, orbital facilities, networks of satellites, and other modern marvels, they are still within a vast alien wilderness separated from one another like those in the new world of antiquity. Even as the first steps are made in the great journey to other stars, the most meaningful discoveries might yet remain within the Antares system.
In Atlas, the Templin Institute investigates the most storied places from across alternate worlds. If you've enjoyed this video and would like to join the Templin Institute, consider pledging to our Patreon page. Along with increased security access, you'll be able to vote in polls to determine future topics, get custom wallpaper every week, and receive some other exclusive rewards.